Good afternoon. My name is Assemblymember Tina McKinnor, and I'm honored to represent the 61st Assembly District in LA County. I also serve as the chair of the LA County Legislative Delegation. I want to begin by thanking the people of LA County for keeping the peace at the recent demonstrations. Thank you for marching with your voice and with your heart. Thank you for not taking the bait by this federal government and by showing the nation that communities across LA County can stand by tyranny, can stand up to a wannabe dictator, and do so peacefully. Thank you, LA County. Your peace has made us all proud. Your peace is your power. Keep it up. In the weeks and months ahead, continue to speak out peacefully, continue to march peacefully, continue to lead peacefully. My friends, we can and must always lead with peace. To my fellow Californians, California's constitutional rights are under attack by this federal government. This federal government's continued illegal actions are a direct threat, not just to California, but to every state in the union. Let's call it what it is. The president's continued actions to federalize the National Guard without a request from our governor is a clear violation of states' rights under the 10th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution and a violation of 10 U.S. Code Section 12406. You don't believe me? Well, let's read the Constitution together. As you see, we have the Constitution and the laws here. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, and reserved to the states respectfully or to the people. The 10th Amendment was foundational to the passage of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights because many states were frankly concerned that overreaching federal government would act more like a monarchy and less like a democratically elected president. We stand here today in 2025, and we share the same concerns of our founding fathers because that is exactly what's happening now. As Governor Newsom stated last week, the president is not a king, and he is not above the law. No president is a king. The president is here to serve the people. We reject the president's unconstitutional acts to deploy U.S. Marines in this state and to federalize the California National Guard troops, not to stop a rebellion or insurrection, but to create an atmosphere of fear and intimidation. Federal law is also very clear on this matter. Let's read it all together, my friends. 10 U.S. Code Section 12406 states, the president may call into federal service members and units of the National Guard of any state in such numbers as he considers necessary to repel the invasion, suppress the rebellion, or execute those laws. Orders for these purposes shall be issued through the governor of those states. No request has been made by our governor. No invasion exists. No rebellion exists. All that exists in California is an attempt by this president to deny our constitutional rights to sovereignty and domestic tranquility. That's it. To my sisters and brothers in state legislatures and to governors in states across our great nation, take notes, my friends. If this president is able to deploy the military and federalize National Guard troops without a request from a governor, he's coming for your state next. It seems unfathomable that a president would ever seize control of a state's National Guard without a state order and the request of a governor. But it has happened in a handful of times during extraordinary moments in our nation's history. So please follow along and see if you can see the theme here. The Civil War. President Abraham Lincoln activated state militias to stop attempts by the Confederate states to secede from our union. Desegregation of Southern schools. President Dwight D. Eisenhower federalized the Arkansas National Guard to escort the Little Rock Nine safely to class and integrate public schools in the South. Desegregation of Southern universities. President John F. Kennedy federalized the Mississippi National Guard to enforce the integration of the University of Mississippi. A year later, Kennedy federalized the Alabama National Guard to integrate the University of Alabama. MLK Jr. and John Lewis March for Voting Rights Act. President Lyndon B. Johnson federalized the Alabama National Guard to protect a peaceful 3-day march from Selma to Montgomery to demand voting rights for black people in Alabama. Immigration raids in Los Angeles. President Donald J. Trump federalized the California National Guard to support mass immigration raids on California. See a theme here? Keeping the Union together after Civil War, desegregating our public schools, desegregating our public university, demanding equal voting rights for minorities, and now, supporting mass immigration raids across California. One of these things is not like the other, and that is why we are here today. This president is not like the others. He's not like us. The president's continued unconstitutional and unlawful acts must be stopped. Mr. President, stop your endless war on the American people. We call on our federal courts to recognize California rights under the 10th Amendment of the Constitution and on the plain reading of 10 U.S. Code Section 12406. End this federal government's occupation on California now.